Pop quiz, did you know that different teas require different temperatures and different brewing times? Let me know in the comments. Konnichiwa, Pat Tokuyama here at All Day Like a Shark, where I share my Japanese cooking videos once a week showing you how to make Japanese food. Today what we're going to be doing is making Hojicha Jelly. Jelly is jelly in Japanese, and if you've never had it before, it's a delicious dessert. We're going to make it slightly sweet with a little bit of sugar, and then we're going to serve it with some sweet cream. You can also use plain cream, or you can even use condensed milk, dilute it a little bit with some milk, maybe 1:1 for additional sweetness when you serve it. If you're wondering what you need to make Hojicha Jelly, not too much. You basically need some Hojicha leaves, which I have here. This is about 2 tablespoons worth, and I have about 2 tablespoons of sugar, white sugar, and I have a packet of gelatin, which has been diluted, softened with about 2 tablespoons of room temperature water. So this is what the packet looks like. And then I have some Hojicha from Kei Nishida-san at JapaneseGreenTeaIn.com. If you want to check out his tea, he has some good stuff. Highly recommended. What we're going to do now is get started. So first thing that we're going to do is put in the tea. Like I said, about 2 tablespoons, roughly 6 grams. And my teapot holds about 2 cups. My temperature is at about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 95 degrees Celsius. And that's the appropriate temperature for Hojicha. So I'm going to make sure all of that is submerged. We're going to let this brew for about 30 seconds, which is the appropriate time for Hojicha. Put the lid in there. While that's going, we can continue talking about tea. So sencha, for example, green tea, usually that's brewed at a similar temperature, about 95 degrees Celsius or about 200 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 seconds. If you get into more high-grade green tea like Jokyu sencha, which is higher grade green tea, or Gyokuro, which is the highest grade of green tea, temperature drops. So usually for Jokyu sencha, it's around 80 degrees Celsius. Or for Gyokuro, it's around 60 degrees Celsius, and the brewing times differ for those as well. So for Jokyu sencha, I usually do it for about 30 seconds as well. For Gyokuro, you can do it anywhere from 1 minute to 2 minutes, and the flavor is very different. You can even do regular sencha, green tea, at a lower temperature, and you'll notice that the flavor is different. So hotter temperatures tend to brew a little bit more bitter. Lower temperatures tend to bring out more of the sweet umami flavors, which are more noticeable in my opinion. You can even try it with the same tea and see if you can tell a difference. So some people may not be able to tell, but I think it's pretty obvious, at least in my experience, for the teas that I've tried. So recommend giving that a try if you've never done it before. It'll take your tea to it'll give you a whole new perspective on green tea. So highly recommended. I'm gonna go ahead and check on that. Looks pretty good. And so I have a few jars here which we're gonna put the zeri in, and then I have my mixer here. We're gonna blend everything together. I'm gonna put in my sugar, 2 tablespoons worth, and then we're gonna pour just about all the tea into here and make sure all of the gelatin has dissolved, and then we'll pour it into each of these jars. So these are 6-ounce jars, and I have an extra one to fill with the leftover. I think it's been 30 seconds, so let's go ahead and pour this in, and then we'll go ahead and get this whisked. Alright, so I think that's about just a little bit more. Just trying to hit the 2-cup mark there. Just double check that there's no clumps. Pretty sure I should have gotten them all. It's a good thing about using a immersion blender. You could also do this in a regular blender, but you have to pour it in and out. It's totally up to you. And by the way, this smells delicious. If you've never had Hojicha before, it's super aromatic, super earthy, and very roasty. So roasty is how I describe Hojicha. It's roasted green tea. Good thing about it, it doesn't have too much caffeine. I think it has very little caffeine, so you can actually drink it at nighttime if you're sensitive to caffeine. I always do, and they always serve it with desserts, but today we're actually making it a dessert. So you can actually brew this again one more time. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that while it's still pretty hot. And some of my other favorite Hojicha desserts include ice cream, cake, cupcakes, biscotti, cookies. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. It's very versatile, just like matcha green tea, powdered green tea. All right, so we'll go ahead and pour this into these containers as evenly as possible. We'll do it about 3/4 of the way roughly, and then we'll let this chill and it'll set. Beautiful gold color. And then what I usually do when I serve it, like I mentioned, I usually put some either sweet whipping cream, plain whipping cream, or condensed milk, or diluted condensed milk with a little bit of milk. You can actually even eat it the way that it is, but I find that adding some dairy, like cream, helps to bring out the Hojicha roasty flavors. It adds contrast, essentially. So highly recommend trying that if you haven't eaten anything like that before. It might give you a whole new perspective on Hojicha as well. And I guess that's the theme of today's video. New perspectives on Hojicha, which is roasted green tea, and regular green tea, like we mentioned before. We'll give this a few hours to chill and set, and then we'll serve it with some sweet cream and wrap up this video. So see you in a bit. Oh yeah, so by the way, I forgot to mention that I usually just cover these up with some saran wrap, some plastic wrap. This is actually the same recipe as my coffee jelly recipe, coffee jelly. So you can actually just substitute the liquid the tea with coffee, and you can make coffee zeri, kohi zeri, in the same manner. You just need gelatin. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Other than that, I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.